his key projects are also executed in Dubai, Malaysia, and Singapore. He has been part of urban design team for tourism development plan guidelines for Batipulao, Sri Lanka, and development guidelines from slum redevelopments in north suburb of Mumbai. He has presented his work at Young Architects Forums at UDRI at CEPT University, and he currently engages in architectural theory and thesis at undergraduate level and housing studio and thesis at postgraduate level. Manoush is also a member of the Breucom project, and well, we welcome you all for this book presentation, and in particular, well, the authors of the book that are going to tell us about their work. Thanks for coming.
Would you like to say something?
You start, Alifan.
I'll first take the opportunity to extend my gratitude to Professor and Javier and to arrange everything and inviting us and giving us this opportunity to present, showcase our work. And this book is actually a culmination of 3-4 years of research. The idea of the book incubated when I was writing my first book, The Divided City, and also my second book on Lucknow. And that was also the time in 2015, June 25th, when the Smart City Mission was launched in India. And along with that came a plethora of other policies like Hriday, Amrit, ODF, SBM. I'm telling you so acronyms, but these are Hindi names. Yes, and Digital India, Make in India. So the urban landscape was a fertile ground for researchers like us. There was lots to study, and there was lots to understand as to where the Indian cities are heading. So some aspects of it we have covered, I have covered in my earlier books, Divided City, Ideological and Policy Contestations in Contemporary Urban India. We have also devised a Urban Equity Index and an Urban Equity Plan. It's a broad theoretical framework which can be used and customized to the needs of any urban stakeholders, to their particular needs and contexts. So that was the idea, and we have updated research till the Swachh Bharat rankings of 2017. So the research is very updated, and it's kind of a very good resource for anybody who is, connected with the urban story of India. So that is Divided City, and when I went to Lucknow, the second tier city of India seemed very important because much of our research is focused on the mega cities, and it is actually the second tier cities, the smaller cities, which are rapidly urbanizing. And this trend is not only in the cityscape, at the built environment level, it's also at the cultural level. And that was very stark when I went to Lucknow. Okay. So that intrigued me to write my second book, which is an ethnographic research, which is absolutely city at the eye level. And I've tried to revive the anthropological tradition, which is almost dying in India. So yes, so that, I've tried to revive that. And eventually, after a sort of sequel of that book was an edited, a special edited volume of The Indian Anthropologist, and with Professor Parthasarathy of IIT Bombay. And we've tried to revive the anthropological tradition in India. We've also tried to, in this book particular, I've tried to give a theoretical framework as to how the Indian cities are changing by connecting the concepts of culture, place, branding, and activism. And that is why the book is so called. So yes, while I was researching on the work, on the ethnographic work on Lucknow, of course, that was also the time that the Smart City Mission was launched, and Lucknow was also one of the smart cities that was declared. And since I was in Uttar Pradesh, I could see the Lucknow cityscape changing very, very rapidly. And that research extended into the third book, where we included more second-tier cities like Varanasi, which is also a very important city, which is changing very rapidly in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And we also included Jaipur and another slum community. So the research for the third book, Smart City in India, was done on 2 levels. The secondary level, we have collected a lot of secondary literature, that is policy documents, vision documents, newspaper articles, whatever was been written about, all the stories and the backstories. And of course, the research at the primary level was we have explored the city's detailed case studies of Lucknow, Varanasi, Jaipur, and one slum community to study the informal situation and how the story of informality has been left out in the smart city narrative of India. So without taking much time, I will start the presentation. Okay, so the urban turn in India has actually officially happened. It happened in 2005 with a massive program called the Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Mission, so which was a 7-year program standing on governance and basic services and infrastructure. It was for 63 cities, and then we had a new government in 2014 which rolled out the Smart City Mission. So yes, officially, so far the official policy was always focused on rural India, but 2005 onwards we see this distinct shift towards an urban, towards the urban landscape of India. So I could say that India does not live in villages anymore. And I will give you some statistics to prove my point. That is, the urban growth would be like 416 million people by 2050 and contributing to 17% total global urban growth. And India will have as many as 7 megacities and numerous urban centers, and these would be the second-tier cities, mostly. That include cities like Kanpur, Pune, Jaipur, Coimbatore, Ahmedabad, Hyderabad, Vijayawada, Kozhikode. So these cities are rapidly, so that these are actually the new laboratories of urban experiments and initiatives. Yeah, and urbanization and urbanism is definitely, in India today, it's inspired by global symbols, models, and aspirations. So it was world-class cities at one point in time. Then there was this global cities, and now the smart cities. And second-tier cities are the emergent reality, as I said, with growing levels of consumerism, widespread use of digital technology, satellite communications, and global linkages. We also want to emphasize that this global character of India's cities is not only restricted to the high-end malls and the posh residences and commercial spaces that we see. It is also related to the informal communities of Dharavi and the weavers communities in dilapidated inner cities like Chowk or Shobha Bazar, for example. They are significant contributors to the global supply chains. Yeah, this is some figures that I would like to draw your attention to, how India is emerging as a very important IT hub. So there's this report which I would like to state that in recent years, India has surpassed US as the second largest smartphone market, while also outspacing US in the mobile app market. India is increasingly seen as a growing security and surveillance market, with varied government departments like the police and traffic management agencies increasingly adopting to innovative technologies and supplied by global companies. So these are the recent statistics actually. When I say the urban turn in India has happened, it has not only happened officially, it has also happened unofficially. And that is witnessed when we see culture. So the cultural transition is very much available, is very much evident, and epitomized by the use of the smartphone, which has reached almost all spectrum of society. And I will give you this interesting report by Amazon, which Amazon executives say that they get 70% of the business from small towns. And the company has set up dozens of new distribution centers, and its arch rival, Flipkart, and other e-commerce companies have worked out the intricacies of sending millions of shipments to customers in smaller towns, the second-tier cities that we are talking about, chasing out the next 100 million internet users in small towns. So that's the kind of emerging market that is India. So with all that, the Smart City Mission was launched precisely on 25th of June 2015, and it is the new paradigm which is driving urban policy and governance in India currently. And the Smart City as an idea is open to diverse interpretations. The 100 smart cities that have been declared so far, they have the liberty to define what they want the smart city, how they want to become a smart city of the future. So the government is now into the second phase of the mission, with 500 more cities declared as smart cities. So it's a big story now. The strategic components, little bit about it. There are three components actually: the area-based development, which are small interventions in specific areas, and then there are the span city solutions, where looking at tech-driven solutions, which talks about cables and free Wi-Fi and traffic management